Hello.
Welcome to another video.
It's been a bit of a dramatic time.
Yeah, it's been a while again because it's been a bit of a dramatic time. But it's about time to update you.
Da, da.
Dun, dun.
Like, literally, you couldn't make up something like our look. Like, we thought the last video was dramatic where we obviously thought that we were going to lose the baby, but everything was fine. And then we had our viability scan and everything was fine.
And we were fine. Everything was fine.
Like,
Until it
everything is
wasn't.
still fine with the pregnancy. The baby's still okay. We're all good.
Lucy just likes to cause drama. She likes the attention to be on her, I think. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So, do you remember when we were saying about our emergency EPU visit where when I was having my spotting, I went to the hospital in the panic and I said that my heart rate was high? It was about 160.
Yeah, I think so.
And we just kind of put it down to anxiety and stress because obviously we thought the worst, which thankfully it wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't anxiety. However,
I'm sure it added to
we
it.
are still going with that one like kind of episode was anxiety.
Yeah.
However, let
then.
me refer to my notes because there's been a lot.
I think it most mainly started at my booking appointment, didn't it?
Yeah, so Lucy's booking appointment was actually, wow, it's the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys. Was on the 3rd of September. What did they do in your booking appointment? So I wasn't allowed in, so Lucy will tell you about what happened in there.
So the first half of it was on the phone where we just kind of went through all my information and whatnot.
That was a few days before, right?
That was a few days before. And then they booked me in to go into the antenatal clinic to have like my blood pressure done, my pee dipped.
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
They went through some details.
Yeah, I went through my details again. That
You got your maternity notes.
I got my maternity notes. And that was a very exciting day. But when we was there, when they were taking my blood pressure and my pulse was very high again. Like, it wasn't 160, it was like 130, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
And they was like, oh, it's a bit high. And I just kind of, again, thought, oh, maybe I'm just a bit anxious because it's like a baby appointment. Even though it was literally just like a blood test and like basic stuff. It was nothing actually to do with the baby.
I was waiting upstairs on one of the wards, like talking to my friends, and Luce texted me saying, my heart rate's high again. They want to send me for another ECG. I was like, what? Come on. I was like, it's definitely. I said, do you feel anxious? And she did say that she felt anxious. She just wasn't sure why.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. Like,
so we just put it down to baby appointment. Yeah. And she ended up agreeing just to let me go home, let Amy monitor it, and like we keep an eye on it.
They rechecked it though, didn't they?
They rechecked it and it had gone down a bit, but it was still like high. So obviously we said that we were going to monitor my heart rate and keep an eye on it, see if it's high, low, what it's doing.
High, low, yeah.
Chicken low.
Chicken low, high, low.
Anyway. I kind of noticed, I think it was, I don't know when it was.
So
the week after.
Yeah, so you haven't been doing a lot in terms of exercise because of the bleeding that you'd been having, and it had been made you a bit scared to kind of go for walks or like
do too much,
just in case you bled.
Maybe
irrational, who knows, but that's how we felt.
Yes.
On the 9th, Lucy was like, I want to do some more. Let's go for a walk. Let's do things. So okay.
Because I can't. No, I said it on the day before. Like, tomorrow we'll go and do some walks. Because I noticed I was kind of getting a bit more out of breath quicker, and that my heart rate was a bit higher. And I just kind of in my mind just put it down to, damn, I've gotten fit.
Yeah.
So on the 9th, which was what, a Wednesday?
Who knows, man.
Yeah, I think a Wednesday. We went for this walk, and I noticed that my heart rate was like, what was it, 150? Or just like a slow walk. I was like, this shouldn't be that high.
And we've done this walk so many times. It was just a chill walk. It wasn't that far away. We were maybe out for about an hour.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not that unfit.
And in that hour walk, we had, sorry, I just burped and it smelled a bit like cheese and crisp. In that 1 hour walk, you can't smell it.
We had like 3 breaks.
Yeah, we had to stop 3 times just to let her, not because she was out of breath.
But I could have carried on.
But she could have carried on. But it was more just for peace of mind to bring our heart rate back down. It scares me a little bit when our heart rate's so high, and I think,
especially when we was coming home and we came up, so we live in a flat, we're on the 2nd floor, so we go up 2 flights of stairs, And what was it at the top of the stairs? Like
175.
So 75, hitting almost 180. Which is too high for
that
walking
like
up some
really
stairs.
scared me. Like,
so at that point, we decided we'd call our doctor. He was like, I can't really see you.
it was a nightmare. It was like
obviously telephone conversations and COVID, waste time. Like, how are they going to assess me?
And he literally said that. He said, well, I can't assess you, so I can't see. What is the point?
Yeah.
In GP telephone appointments then? Please tell me.
Yeah. So in the end, he said if it goes over 140 again, go to A&E.
Yeah.
I did the pots, did some washing up. And I was like...
Once in a lifetime thing.
Give over. And I was like, I wouldn't have known if I wasn't wearing my Apple Watch. And it was, 145, just washing the dishes.
Yeah, so we kind of tried to dismiss it a little bit. Sat back
we'll
down.
go in the morning.
If it's still high in the morning, we'll go. It's only 5 over. I'll just monitor. You feel well.
Well, then Amy got a bit neurotic and I agreed to go.
No, then you walked to the toilet and it went to like 150.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, the living room's here, the toilet's here.
Yeah, like we live in a 1-bedroom flat. It's not big.
Yeah, and A&E was not the place that we wanted to spend our night. Like, especially in our local hospital, it is busy. One of the busiest A&Es in London, I think. But we needed to go, so we thought, we're not doing anything tonight. We're just going to lie on the sofa and do nothing. Why not lie in a bed in A&E?
I weren't planning on lying in a bed in A&E.
So, checked her in. I did wear my uniform in the hope that I could, like, maybe go in because it is the one parent, what? It is just the patient rule at the moment because of COVID. That didn't work.
So I checked myself in actually and you just kind of hovered around. I didn't.
Yeah, Lise had to go into the triage on her own. And what happened in triage? Your heart rate and blood pressure. So she did your observations.
My heart rate was high. I didn't actually look what it was, but do you remember what she said it was? Like 150?
Yeah, I looked on your triage notes later. I think it was like 150 something, 156, and her blood pressure was high.
But not too high, I don't think.
No, it was. Your blood pressure was... So her blood pressure was really high in triage, like 100 and... It was something stupid, like 180 something over something.
Dang,
like
I didn't know that.
it was some ridiculous number that she's never had before. And Luce just kind of...
I was oblivious.
Obliviously was in A&E, got moved into a separate bit to have her bloods and observations done and an ECG done.
I was just like, I know it's not normal, but I feel alright. Like, I just get a bit out of breath. Like, I know it's not normal, but what should I do?
And then I went and sat with my friends in the children's A&E, like, because I was really anxious because I wanted to know Luce was okay.
And she wasn't allowed in.
And I wasn't allowed in.
We understand.
And then my friend texted me and said, you do know that they've triaged her as a level 2, which is quite serious. And I was like, oh, crap, no. I didn't tell Lucy at this point. Of course, I didn't text her and tell her. But it made me more worried.
So basically, they wanted to take me through to resource.
Yeah. However, they couldn't because it was full. And
So
I again
that's
didn't tell
crazy.
Lucy this either until after she was okay.
Like, I overheard some nurses talking about resource, but I didn't think they were talking about me.
Yeah, I really pooped myself. Like, I was so scared. And then I got really, like, not upset, but I was, like, really anxious anyway. And I was anxious for Luce and I was anxious for the baby. Yeah. We don't know what impact Lucy's heart rate being so high was going to have on the baby, whether it was related.
And we still don't, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just really scared. And I love her.
You were probably more scared than me.
Yeah, because she's...
I was oblivious.
I think actually being
I thought you were just
healthcare professional. No, I think being a healthcare professional or medical professional, you can know too much and you overthink everything.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to not know enough.
Yeah, so we went from almost being sent to resource, but not being because there wasn't any room in there for me, to sitting in A&E for 16 hours.
Yes. So there was no beds in the hospital, no adult beds. We spent 16 hours in a cubicle on a trolley bed.
On a trolley. I had my own room, I was alright.
We never thought it would be that long. At one point, we thought she was going to get discharged home and come back the next day just for a follow-up.
And I was like, no, we're keeping you in.
Then the boss doctor was like, no, you're not, you're staying. So in A&E, whilst you were laying in the bed, your heart rate was ranging between... I was watching it more than Lucy. At rest, lay down, it was about 120, 130. As soon as somebody walked in, it would go up to like 140, 150. I'm like, what are you doing? But she doesn't get nervous around like doctors and things like that. It's just what her heart rate did.
And I guess it's also go from at rest to having to think and say things like...
and you would move. You'd sit up and
sit
things.
up and do... Yeah. Again, it shouldn't be that high.
Hold up. The funniest thing was when he was listening to her chest and telling her to take deep breaths. I'm like, babe, take the mask off. Like, maybe. She's like... and I'm watching her heart rate and stuff. I'm like, take the mask off, like, while you do this. But she was like, yeah, that would have probably been a good idea.
It didn't tell me to. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
It would just made my heart even go even higher. Which was silly.
So
what did they do in there? They did me a lot of blood tests.
Yeah, so she ended up actually having 3 sets of blood tests. Because they would tested for all the normal standard stuff, and then they tested for...
When all that was fine, and I continued to confuse everybody.
Yeah, they did ECGs, which were fine. But,
the rhythm was normal, it was just going too fast.
Yeah, she wasn't in SVT or anything like that, so you were good there.
Then they thought I might have a clot in my lung.
Yeah, they kept feeling all your legs and stuff, and things like squeezing her her calves to see if there was any clots.
I'd not shaved my legs, I was mortified.
I told her not to. It'd be fine. She was not happy with me.
I was like, why are they going to look at my legs? It's my heart.
My bad.
Oh well.
Yeah, then they thought that she might have had like a blood clot on her lung. However, he had no other symptoms. No pain, no shortness of breath, no sharp pains.
Like I was getting short of breath when I was walking, but that was mainly because my heart rate was at like exercise level.
Yeah.
Rather than just like general shortness of breath. But so they did a chest x-ray and that was fine. And then they did that blood test.
Yeah, they gave us a choice of basically 2 scans. I can't remember what they are now.
Either one of them was bad for me and increased my risk of cancer, breast cancer, and then the other option had an increased risk for the baby of having them having developed like
that is cancer. A hard decision to make, and that wasn't a decision that neither of us wanted to make, whether the risk is low or what. It scared the shit out of me.
I'd have chosen the risk for me,
of course, which actually scares the shit out of me.
But thankfully we didn't have to do that, either of those in the end, because they did a blood test for what is it?
So they did a D-dimer blood test, which tests to see if you have got any clots. Well, it's an indicator to whether there is any clots. So they wasn't sure it was going to work, because apparently in pregnant women, your D-dimer is raised anyway.
But they thought maybe I was early enough, because I was just before 10 weeks pregnant at this point. Yeah. So they thought I was early enough maybe that it could be okay. And the results showed that it was very, very, very unlikely that I'll have a clot in my lungs.
Yeah. So or anywhere in your body.
Or anywhere, yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm also on aspirin with my Proganova. So thankfully we didn't have to do either of those tests, and I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
Yeah. And we are happy that we don't think that we were content enough that we didn't think there was a clot, so we were happy to take that.
What did they do then?
I think that was kind of it. You were left on a cardiac monitor to just be monitored, basically.
Although I was in a side room and people didn't really come in that often and monitor me, to be fair.
No.
Could have died many times, they wouldn't have known.
Do you mind? This is my place of work.
Alright, that was mainly on the ward. Can't say.
No, they were amazing in A. They were really good in A.
They were really good in A&E, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They were nice on the ward as well.
They were.
But my monitor did say I was dead when I was on the ward for about 5 minutes and nobody checked.
Lucy called it. She was like, my monitor says I'm dead. So when a bed became available on a ward, Lucy was admitted to a ward. What ward was it, babe?
Care of the elderly.
No, the hospital was in bed crisis. There wasn't any beds anywhere, so she had to take what she got. So she got admitted to an elderly ward with 3, which is fine. We are going to be old one day. However,
it was quiet.
It's just not the place to be, is it really?
It wasn't really a nice environment. A couple of people looked a bit dead. They weren't.
But listening to the sass of the elderly people is pretty really entertaining, which is good.
I want to be that kind of old person.
Yeah, it's good because there's no TV. It was pretty dull. Yeah, it was pretty dull, basically.
So basically, I'd gone into A&E Wednesday evening, stayed 16 hours in their cubicle, and then about lunchtime, early afternoon the next day, I got sent to the ward, where all day I was just monitored. I think basically only anything happens in the hospital in the mornings.
On adults.
On adults, anyway. So I literally just spent the rest of that day
on a monitor
having fluids, just in case that'd help. Didn't really do anything.
No, because they were thinking she could be dehydrated. Have you seen how much Lucy drinks? There was no chance she was dehydrated.
So then Friday morning came, which is when things started actually happening, and I got the test that they'd kind of told me would going to happen the day before.
Yeah, so she had an echo, looked at her heart. It was so cool. I was there watching it, and like it was just so cool to see her heart. Like obviously in NICU, I'd seen like babies' hearts with an echo, but it was so cool to kind of see like an adult heart.
Apparently my heart's like double I don't know, double the size.
So
but
they
it's
said
bigger
it
during
doubles in
pregnancy.
size.
Oh, is it?
That's what he said. Your heart doubles in size for pregnancy because you have to pump the amount of blood and things. It works double as hard. I was like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Heart was fine on the echo.
They did lots of ECGs on the ward.
They said that also confirmed that there was no clot from the blood going in the heart stuff.
Which is always good.
She saw the cardiology consultant who was very knowledgeable.
Really nice as well.
Very good, he knew a lot of stuff. Never got to see gynae. Well done, guys.
They didn't turn up.
And
for 2 days.
We gave up mithering about that one.
In the end, they were just happy that everyone else had seen me and that was fine.
Yes. But they did agree to send... my main thing about seeing gynae was I wanted a scan to check the baby was okay.
And we did
and we got that. And we got to see our little baby.
Exactly, at 10 weeks.
I say we. Lucy got to see our little baby.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go into that one.
I was stressed.
Yeah.
Because during this, I'd also lost all my nausea.
Yeah.
I think it was mainly because like everything else was going on. But I was a bit worried because I'd not felt sick and I'd felt sick constantly before it. So I was a little bit worried, but not at the same time. I don't know. But everything was fine.
Yeah, baby looks like a little alien.
We're going to put a picture in here. Because we don't actually have a physical picture anymore. Because this sleep-deprived little moron put the baby in the washing machine.
Yeah, I washed it.
But
I can show you what it looks like now, though. This is what it looks like now.
Fuming.
I cannot even explain to you
how tired
this scenario. So I had probably slept about 6 hours in...
This is going to be a long video.
It's okay. I'd probably slept about 6 hours in 3 days.
Yeah, it's probably quite accurate.
Because I also did a night shift.
Yeah, the night before.
And when you were in hospital.
Oh, yeah.
So I came home, put on my uniform in the washing machine, and then all of a sudden I just had this like moment of
panic.
The scan. I was on the floor in the kitchen with all the instructions out in front of me. The washing machine stopped, crying, trying to get it open. It had water in, and I sobbed because I had to close it. So then I texted Lucy saying that I'd washed the baby. Maybe I'll put a screenshot of the messages because it's quite funny.
I think I was very nice to you. I wasn't angry.
No, you wasn't. I was mortified.
Because it was an accident. We had a picture of it already, at least. And you didn't mean to do it. And she was punishing herself enough, I think. I didn't need to add to it.
Yeah,
so that was fine. And then after that, I pretty much just got discharged, didn't I? They still don't know why my heart is fast. My heart is still fast now. And they've referred me to a specialist gynae and cardiology team. So it's good that they'll look at it together from both a pregnancy and a heart perspective. Yeah. I'm still waiting for my appointment from that.
I'm going to call them next week.
And they just said to kind of, keep an eye on it, and if my heart rate goes up and doesn't come back down, then go back to A&E. Thankfully that hasn't happened, but it is still getting high.
I think it is okay at rest.
At rest it's okay. At rest it's now gone down to like
between 80 and
100, which is fine. Your heart rate goes up anyway in pregnancy, just not this high.
But yeah, when she is walking or active, especially if she has to do any stairs, or it does go back up to the 160, 70 mark.
Yeah, so I'm doing all I can to kind of keep it low because we still don't know if it's going to have an effect on the baby. The cardiology said if it stays high, if it stays high and don't come down, then that's when the point that it can have an impact. So trying to keep it as low as possible because we don't know if it stays high, goes down, then goes high again. Yeah, like that could have an impact and stress the baby out.
Yeah, and also your heart. Like we don't want it to have like a bad impact on Lucy's heart. And IVF anxiety. She's going to be a sloth for the next 9 months and just cry about back pain instead. Yeah,
I really wanted to start working out this week and like build up like my back muscles and strength, but I'm too scared about increasing my heart rate to do it. Until at least I've seen the specialist anyway, and then we can discuss that.
And she's going to get a 24-hour ECG. So after we have results from things like that, we can maybe look at just being a bit more active in things.
Yeah, so, as long as we know that it's going to be okay for the baby.
Yeah, and you.
Oh yeah, and me.
Oh my God, why does she disregard herself all the time? I need this woman around to cook for me.
And cook the baby.
And cook the baby. But yeah, that is pretty much where we're at.
Sorry for such a long video.
But this is what happens when you don't upload videos weekly anymore.
So basically this is a big reason why we've missed a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah.
Because I was in hospital. You were wiped out. And then we've just been kind of trying to rest and take it easy, and you've been working a lot, and I've been absolutely exhausted. Like, even now, my heart rate is high. I get very tired very quickly. I presume because my heart rate's at exercise level, just walking. So I'll do, like, I barely go out. I think since I've been in hospital, I can count that on one hand the amount of times I've left the flat.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 weeks ago now. And I get really out of breath really quick, so it's a struggle, boss.
Well, that's your update.
That's my update.
We are going to be on it a little bit more. Like we were saying, we've waited 3 years to vlog
a pregnancy and a baby.
And now we're not doing it, and it is just literally the anxiety
and tiredness
and busyness.
And I really don't want to.
We're going to be on it. But yeah, there's your update. Thank you so much for watching.
We're going to end the video now before it gets 30 minutes.
If you made it this far, well done. Please leave a comment.
We love you.
And we will see you next week.
We will see you next week, so we're going to film another video right now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.